Shalom. I'm just doing the second part of this because I was running out of time on my cell phone. Google, not Google, but YouTube only gives you so much time. So I'm gonna recap of what I was talking about from the first video, and it was the prophecy, the mark of the beast, days of old, and in our time, what would be happening. Of course, we talk about days of old, what happened in the time of King Nebuchadnezzar, and what it had to do with our time now. So the time of King Nebuchadnezzar, as we know, that he built an image, and for all the nations around the world and all the governors and whatnot were to bow down when they heard the flute or musical instruments. So at that time, you may want to call it a new world order at that time. Now, we know what happened to those that did not bow and worship Baal or the statue that he had built. They were thrown into a furnace. So we also know what the end game is according to our time. According to our time, we have something called the mark of the beast, which is the RDFI chip that's out there that goes in, it's about the size of a grain of rice. It goes in the right hand. We also have something called Neuralink that will go in the forehead or somewhere in the head to be able to supposedly cure people of different diseases or paralyzed or dementia or whatever they promise to say that it does. According to these things, it will happen because the Bible does say it would be like a miracle. But we already know the only person that can do true miracle is Yahushua, that heals, bring people back from the dead, and does things. So we know as today, as recapping, that Esau Edom will have a little bit of power through his technology to be able to play God for a little bit. We also know that him playing God, what's going to happen. So I'm going back to Yasharallah. So Yasharallah, we have some good things coming for us. If we stay strong, we keep the commandments as best of our abilities, we have integrity to Yahushua no matter what, even to death, because he promised what he would give. And we know that he doesn't lie. So I'm going to move a little further and I'm going to read something. This is Slakia. This is what's going to happen. This is Jeremiah 16 verse 15. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the land whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. That is a promise that the Father will pull us out of the land of the north. Now you say North America and wherever we were driven, wherever we were scattered to, he's going to bring them all back and give us back what our forefathers had. That is a problem. That is a promise from Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. That is a fact and a promise. And we know he don't break his promises. And we know he don't lie. So we're going to move further with this. We should be joyous to hear this. This part will also make you joyous about what's going to go on in the kingdom. And it says this. Isaiah 14 verse 1 and 2. Listen to this. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Another promise again. Choose Jacob, he will choose Israel. So what this does, once again, it takes Christianity, throws it behind you with all their lies. And there, everybody can make it. Well, let's do it this way, since everybody can make it. Let's see what happens to those others that make it. And let's go into this. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. Let me get that real quick. Salakia. Get this real quick. Isaiah. That's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. And let's see what it says. And you know, many Christians don't even read this part. I've noticed. They leave this part clean out. And there's a reason why. Let me start from the top so we can get the whole full plate of food right here. So we can really smile and think about what's coming. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. And let's see what it says. And remember, this is for Yasharallah, Israel, for the elect. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. For what? Servants and handmaids. Well, we know what a servant is, and we know what a handmaid is. In other words, slave. Let's go a little further with this. Bring a little smile to your face when you know what's going to happen to those others that make it. They're going to have something to do. And they shall take them captives. Ooh, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. So, baby, let's tell you how what's really about to go down. It's about to be a flip of the script. What was done to us will be done to them. But see, they forgot about Revelation. Do to them double to what they done to us. So the other nations, oh, don't worry. We got work for you to do, baby. It's going to be work to do. You're going to rebuild a whole lot of stuff. So that should bring Yasharallah a smile to their face. Even though we're in captivity right now. Even though we have problems in our lives. Even though we know the mark of the beast, we know what's coming. Just lean on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All the way, even to death. Simple as that. Let's go a little further with this. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Now, of course, you in hard bondage right now. May not know it, but you are. We've had a discussion about this before. Don't you got to get up and go to work? Don't you got to clock in, punch in? Don't you got to go and serve other people? Where's your rest at? Your rest ain't here. You're working paycheck to paycheck. You're doing what you can to survive. And then you hear the promises of what he says he's going to do for Yasharallah. Also, there's going to be slaves in the kingdom, which Christianity wants to throw out real quick. Oh, that was old. That's never going to happen. Oh, yeah, it is. That's future, baby. They can say what they will. So we're going to go a little further with this. We're going to talk about what's going to happen to Esau also. Esau, Edom. And we're going to go somewhere that a lot of people don't like going. Let's go into the book of Obadiah. All right, let's see what Obadiah got to say. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. And listen to this. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And we know what stubble is. Should pick up some dirt and go like this. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. Well, it sounds here to me, through Obadiah, Esau is done. He's done. Point blank, period. I hope he has fun right now. I hope he live it up. Because this is his kingdom we in. You see how trashy it is? This is his kingdom. All messed up. But he's done. According to the book of Obadiah, this is a blessing to hear this. You know what, matter of fact, I want to read it again. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. Meaning he gonna burn up. Ain't gonna have nothing. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. You're gonna devour them, gonna tear them up. Esau, woo. And there shall not be any remain of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So Esau, Edomites, you're not gonna make it, baby. You're done. You're finished. Finito. Done. This is the future for them. Now, of course, they can run around and say, this is not gonna happen. Jump up and down, hoot and holler, cry about it. This goes back to the blessing. This goes right back to the time of what? Jacob and Esau. They both got their blessing. Esau has ran with his blessing for a very long time. Now it's time for Jacob's turn to be the righteous, to clean this up. Yasharallah. Move on a little further before we end this. Let's go to Revelations 18, verse 16. And this is when Babylon falls. And says, alas, the great city